Continuing our series on the big questions, today we're talking about faith and science and how they can coexist. And we know that they can because they work together in our lives all the time. And in reflecting on this and kind of where is the source of this view that there's a conflict between the two, it seems to be centered around creation. That seems to be where the fight does take place. You know, nobody's faith seems to be threatened by the fact that there are all these galaxies out there. Nobody's faith seems to be threatened that the universe is built on little tiny atoms that are ridiculously small. That doesn't seem to be a source of conflict. A lot of what happens doesn't seem to be a source of conflict. The fact that we have all this wonderful technology, that doesn't seem to bother anybody's faith. But when we get to the notion of creation, where did it all come from? How did it get here? How did it all get started? That's where we seem to have this conflict. So I want to talk about that a little bit. Little known fact about me is that I actually have a degree in biology. I went to school for wildlife management. So if you're having trouble with raccoons, beavers, birds, call me. I can help you out. I don't get to use it much, unfortunately. But I spent a lot of time, 4 years, in scientific academia. This is where I was all the time. That was what I did. And my faith was never threatened by the idea of evolution. Never bothered me, never upset me, never created any kind of conflict. Because my faith is not in the Bible. I believe in God. And I follow Jesus. And the Bible helps me understand how to do that. But I don't believe in the Bible. It is a tool. It is God's words written down to help us understand who God is, what God has done, and what God will continue to do in our lives. This is not what I believe in. I think it's dangerous to believe in this. Because this only points to God. This helps us see God, understand God, know God, love God. But this is not what it's about. God is what it's about. And that is the source of my faith, and that is who I believe in. So, for me, it was never really an issue. For some people it is. And I know that. And for some folks, it's like a house of cards, where if one part of it is not true, literally true, then the whole thing must be false. And yet, there are different parts of the Bible that mean different things, that are intended different ways. There's a scripture verse that talks about how the mountains clapped with joy. Well, did the mountains really clap? I don't think anybody would say yes to that. It's a poem. It's designed to convey something different than just a fact. There are songs in the Bible. There is history in the Bible. There is exposition in the Bible. There is a legal code in the Bible. There are a lot of different things in the Bible. And we need to understand what part we're reading and what that is so we can get the right thing out of it that God intended when God put it there. If we expect mountains to clap, we're going to be disappointed. Understanding which part goes where takes study. It takes time and effort, and I get that. There are a lot of different ways to do that. One great tool is to get a Bible like this one, which has a lot of notes in the bottom, and a lot of different resources that can help you understand what's poetry, what's song, what's exposition, what's law. Things like that can help. But getting back to this creation idea, the Genesis story of creation is not meant to be taken as an actual, this is what happened. That's not why it was written. And here we come to the fundamental place where science goes one way and faith goes another way, and how they can come back together. Which is that faith is not meant to explain how. That's what science does. And science is not meant to explain why. That's what faith does. Science is the how, and faith is the why. Now, there are moments where in scientific study we come upon things that explain why. For instance, there are chemicals that go off in your body when you see your spouse. You think, wow, I love happen? Well, okay, well, why those chemicals for that person? Well, again, we can go back and we can find reasons, why you're attracted to that person. Okay, but why? You keep asking why, you keep asking why, you keep asking why, and you go back in time to this Big Bang, and then you get to why, and there's no answer. It just is. And you project that forward. Well, where's all this going? I've got this great relationship with my wife, and we love each other, and then what? Well, this, that, and then you get to the end. Well, what's the end result? What's down the road? What's the point? Don't know. Science can't tell you that. It's not what it's there for. It's meant to help us understand. That's what scientists do. They're basically just students, which I don't know what I was thinking. You have to learn all the time. That's what it's all about. It's about learning. It's about discovering. It's about finding out what is already there. Finding out and communicating and helping us understand it and helping us apply it so that we can make our lives better. It's a descriptive thing. Science doesn't define. All it does is describe what's already there. The why we're all here, the purpose of it all, that's what faith is for. All the great religions, find one, pick one. All of them have a meaning of life. Some of them have more than one. They're all there. That's what faith is about.